injury. Two things. I don't know if you can say whether she slides back into the starting group, because I know you'll probably have a little bit a decision to make with Tina out also. But just curious, how nice is it to have her back and have her shooting back?
Yeah, I won't comment on the starting group till like literally every day, just making sure people are in one piece as we come in. But
Yep.
yeah, her shooting, her natural feel for spacing the floor. She's not our primary ball handler, but can handle it and run pick and roll and make good decisions. You come down and stand next to her, and she's taller than you realize and longer than you realize, so she can get passes out of pressure on the pick and roll because of her size. And she's probably I've been impressed by her willingness to be aggressive so far. We've needed it. I think that's part of it, but she's not afraid to try to make a play or to shoot or look for her shot.
Another kind of general question about the team, and there's all this talk about, communication, improving communication. So it seemed like it had gotten a little bit better, but then I know there was some criticism about how well everybody communicated during the Atlanta game. Just curious, during these last couple of days, has it been a focus? How's that kind of come along?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's definitely been a focus. It was our film today. I mean, Atlanta presents a unique challenge because their guards are so quick and can take advantage of mistakes in your communication, maybe differently than some other teams can. I think it's just being more comfortable. You never know as a coach, is it people are afraid to say the wrong thing or they don't know what to say. But it's just like quick in-game communication, not some big long talk that people got to have together, but just, I got to call the coverage. I'm just going to call it and trust it and be decisive. And then I'm going to listen to it if I'm on the other end. So just trying to, give everybody some reps the last couple of days at being decisive with what they call, and their teammate adjust quickly. But even on offense for us, just talking, just simple basketball talk. Sometimes we get a little quiet and think that somebody else is going to tell us what to do, and we got to take a little ownership.
Gotcha. And just one last one for me. We're about a month away from the break, under a month away from the break. You guys talk about big picture? Hey, we need to accomplish this in the next 3 weeks, or are you guys kind of more, focused more on window, like, hey, let's take care of tomorrow, let's get through this week, as opposed to kind of looking at it from a broader spectrum?
No, I think we always focus pretty short term, like you're saying, like tomorrow. The one thing we've talked about is you just look at the standings and everybody's so bunched up. And so a good game, a good week can change how you feel about the big picture quickly. It's not, everybody's got an opportunity. Every team's got an opportunity. Atlanta tomorrow has an opportunity to make a shift in the standings quickly. And I think it's easy when you look at it like that to say, okay, well, all we can do is focus in on today's practice, tomorrow's game, and control what's right in front of us. And the standings and everything will take care of themselves as long as you do that.
That's perfect. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Jen.
Hey, Eric, how's it going?
Hey, Jen, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. I know Coach T said yesterday that Tosh was going to be kind of a game time decision tomorrow. Did she practice today?
She did some of practice today. In her position, I think it's all about how it feels after she's done some stuff like that, some part of practice, like how her body responds tonight, tomorrow morning, through the day tomorrow. I don't think there was no setbacks or anything. So at least she's trending in the right direction.
Good to hear. And I know, that getting the ball to Tina has obviously been a huge part of your game plan and identity. Have you guys figured out or talked about explicitly what your pecking order is now that she's not there? Is it Maisha wobble time? Is it Ariel? Have you talked about that?
Not specifically the way you're saying. I mean, I think everybody kind of knows our Ariel and Maisha have been our next two and three scoring options. But, in general, Tosh has felt, or we felt like Tosh needs to be a little more aggressive. We get Sydney back if she's playing. That gives us another option. Is it wobble time? Could be a little bit of some stuff offensively that we've, that used when we didn't have that low post presence on the court as much. But, we had Emma out there too. So it'll be a little, it'll look a little different. I mean, we won't have probably as many post ups, but we'll still get some.
And then just last thing for me, you know, how much have you talked to Tina about the film? Has she given you a screening or anything like that?
I haven't gotten a screening. I think this is the legit premiere. I've known, I mean, we've known about it for a while. I remember when I saw her in the off season, we were talking about it. So it sounds like a really, really cool story. I remember when she was traveling to go film part of it. And so, yeah, Tribeca's, that's big time. So I hope it's a great event. And yeah, this is the start of a promising second career.
Thank you.
Christy?
Hey, Eric. With Atlanta, you already said how they're pretty ravenous on the defensive end. They force you to be a little bit sped up. I think that's what Ariel Atkins called it. But with their ability to steal the ball, like almost 11 steals a game, and also get those offensive boards, which are also at the top of the list with statistically, what do you think will be the biggest challenge tomorrow against them?
We watched film today offensively of, you know, they were trapping a lot, and I think Ariel's right. They sped us up. But, you know, like it wasn't even so much the turnover, like they jumped out trapped and we turned it over. It happened once or twice. Sometimes it was when we had advantages, 3-on-2, 4-on-3, we didn't capitalize on some of those opportunities once we got it out of the trap. So spent a little time working on that. And then I think some of that's a natural progression for a team, whether it's you start to see post double teams or you start to see more switching, and you got to learn to adjust to play against that type of defense. You know, the offensive rebounding for us, I mean, that's blocking out should be a given every night, regardless of who we're playing. And obviously it's heightened against them, but you know, fouling, I think, was a big fouling, blockouts, taking care of the ball. Coach has said it, as long as I can remember, that you got to control those three areas of the game, especially if you want to win come playoff time.
No doubt. Okay. And the last thing for me, it just overall, without Tina there, kind of chiming into what Jen said, without Tina being there, what do you think would be the major key for victory for your team tomorrow?
Be more connected defensively. Try to control the ball defensively of where we funnel people and if we're on the same page, and then offensively keeping great spacing and taking better advantage of the way we're being played. You know, you have to stay aggressive against pressure and traps, but you got to play at your own tempo.
Love it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Eric.
Oh,
Hi, Erica. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Christy, did you have a question?
Yes. Erica, with the absence of Tina tomorrow, what kind of, I guess, approach changes for you in particular with that in mind?
Just looking to be more aggressive, probably offensively. Same thing for defense. I mean, I'm coming in to bring extra energy, but I know since Tina is a big scoring presence, I probably have to be more aggressive, looking to the basket more, and just doing what I usually do, bring energy, get rebounds, offensive rebounds. You know, I'm working on talking more on defense, so bringing all that for the next game.
And just recently playing Atlanta over the weekend, what is the main factor that the team is honed in on in terms of being a key factor for victory tomorrow?
We've really honed in on our defensive pressure. We let them get a lot of slip outs. Just a lot of miscommunication happened on our end. And so that's just the theme of the year, is just talking, making sure that we get everything locked down, as well as talking on offense. I think we got lost a lot, just didn't know like what to do, and we just really got to flow. And sometimes Atlanta is such a fast-paced team that they rush us. So another theme of today was just slowing down and reading the defense.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Jen.
Hey, Erica, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I've got a little bit of a grab bag of questions for you today. First one, you know, I know you and I have talked about like your interest in the entertainment industry, and I'm just curious if you've talked to Tina about her film at all.
I did. I talked to a little bit about it, and I just found it just really inspiring, honestly. Not only just the content that she's working on as to bringing Black voices into the film industry and the video game industry, but as well as just another Black producer, Black director. I mean, it's inspiring on its own. And so, I mean, looking at Tina just makes me want to push harder to get into the entertainment business. And, you know, I'm looking to get some more advice from her just as how she approaches it. And, you know, I know it's a cutthroat type business. So I'm just looking to pick her brain a lot more as the year goes on.
That's awesome. Turning to another vet on the team, Elena, curious if there's something that stands out to you that you've learned from her, even though she hasn't been able to, you know, go 5-on-5 with you guys yet.
E in general just has a calming presence, and she has that on the court. And I remember playing against her, and it's just super calm. Like, she never gets rushed. She just looks at the defense and does what she wants to do. And so just being her calming presence, like when we're like super rushed on the court and we're down by 9 and he's like, hey, everyone calm down. It's all right. We're going to come back. Just take your time. We're going to do it possession by possession. And so that's what I would look to E for, just for that calming presence. Cause I know there's times in the games I get really rushed upon myself. So I lean into her to just calm me down and just to, you know, calm everyone else down so that we can focus on what we need to focus on.
That's awesome. Tasha's talked a lot about that too, so that makes total sense. And then last one for me, I meant to follow up with you earlier. Just curious how the aftermath of the Connecticut game went with your sister and your dad. Like, was there a lot of trash talking? Did you have to buy dinner? What was the, you know, what all happened, and how excited are you to maybe even the score at the end of the month?
Yeah, there's definitely some trash talk at the end. Definitely, like, the waiter, she was telling the waiter that like we beat them, that I was her sister and that we beat them. So I was supposed to pay for dinner, but as generous as my sister is, she paid for it. She also has a lot more money than me, so I was grateful for her kindness.
That's awesome. Bill with a side of trash talk.
Yes. But I'm super excited to even it up. Once again, the family's coming out. My best friend's coming out. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And I look to even it on our court for sure. And she'll be paying. I won't be kind to her. Yes.
Thank you, Bill.
Kareem.
Hey, Erica, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, Kareem?
Good. I just wanted to ask a little bit about yourself. You know, these last couple of weeks, you know, just the rotation and the minutes have kind of fluctuated a little bit. And I'm just curious, you know, how do you kind of stay in that, you know, kind of basically just stay ready, you know, when sometimes things fluctuate like that on sometimes whether it's a night-to-night basis or whatever, and, you know, and how you approach a game like this where without Tina, assuming that you're going to be called on a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, this year's been full of fluctuations for me. So it's all about just keeping my mindset ready, making sure that I know my scout, making sure that I know what to do, making sure that I do what I always do, bring energy. Like, I'm not going to do, like, try to be something else, like, when I get on the court. Just making sure I'm always that energy bunny. I'm going to get rebounds, going to do what I need to do to help my team win. You know, and I've been in positions where, you know, I haven't played a lot. And so it just fuels me to, you know, keep working hard. And practice and stuff. And, you know, there's always opportunities such as this, you know, you just never know what's going to happen on the court. There's injuries, there's things as what Tina has. And so I just always have to make sure that I'm staying ready, keeping my mind ready and just staying confident for when my time is up.
And just one last one for me. This is kind of just a broad question, almost kind of like what Jen asked about Elena. I'm just curious, you know, being alongside Tina so far this year, is there anything that you've picked up or noticed from her about, you know, how she carries herself during practice or her approach or anything? I'm just curious, what kind of impressions have you gotten from her in general, just as, you know, you watch how she kind of, you know, just kind of carries herself as someone who's as accomplished as she is?
Yeah. You're talking about Tina, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Tina, yeah.
I've been yapping all over.
No problem. Tina is like very professional. And I think that's probably the biggest thing. Like, she takes this as a job. This is what she does. And she's going to be good at it. And she's going to execute. And she's going to do the things she needs to do to be good at her job. And so I really admire that because a lot of times, I mean, this is a game and of course we want to have fun with it. But when you have that kind of mindset, you know, there's just nothing but focus that she has. And so she's always just thinking about what she needs to do make herself better, to make the team better. She's always analyzing things. I can see her like constantly analyzing, constantly talking to herself. And so I really admire that as her as a leader on the court. So I look to have that more focused type of mindset as I come and you know, play this year and in the future as well.
It's absolutely perfect. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I think that's it, Erica. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Hey, Sydney, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good to see you back.
Thank you. Same, same.
Well, that's obviously the first question. You know, how are you feeling? It sounds like you've gone through practices and you know, barring anything crazy, you're all ready to go on Thursday. Just curious, you know, how have you felt?
Yeah, I've been really spoiled actually. I've had so many people helping me these last few weeks with treatment, rehab, extra hours before and after practice, just to make sure that everything is taken care of and healing properly. And so I'm really grateful for everybody who has been of assistance to me, because Lord knows I could not do it on my own. So it's nice to be back out there. And it was also good for me to see things from a different perspective, because when you're on the sidelines, you're able to have different conversations, see things from a different angle that you wouldn't necessarily have if you were out there rolling with the punches, trying to find that flow. So I'm really grateful to be back out, helping put the pieces together in a physical sense. But I really enjoyed having the opportunity to talk to people and to see things sort of like a coach's perspective, and to also continue to build the relationships with this group, because I've only been here for I think a month now. And so it gave me that opportunity to take a step back and get to know people on and off the court. So these last few weeks have been really good for me.
That's what I was gonna ask, because you were kind of starting to find a little bit of a flow. You know, you moved into the you know, the starting lineup, and it's like, man, as soon as things kind of get rolling, it's like a setback. But it seems like you're not seeing it that way. It seems like you were able to kind of find a different way to kind of still move forward.
Well, injuries and bumps and bruises, it's part of the game. And a lot of times it's out of our control. And thankfully I've only had a couple of injuries, but each time they have come at a good time for me in regards to, okay, let me take this time to be still, to slow down, because especially in a season, you get into a rhythm, you get into a flow, which is good. But I think because of the trade and how quickly that happened, rolling into a new system, into a new environment, this gave me an opportunity to slow down for a second, and also remind myself of my foundation physically, get back to the basics as I'm rehabbing to get back out there. And I really am grateful. Obviously you don't want to take those moments away from being out on the court helping the group, but I know for me, I feel like I'm going to come back in a better frame of mind, and a better physical condition than when I got here, because I was able to revisit the basics and the foundation that got me to this point.
And just one more for me, you know, obviously it's very good timing, because, you know, it's all hands on deck now with Tina going to miss on Thursday. I guess, how do you kind of approach that? Whereas, you know, everybody's got to step it up a little bit, but at the same time, I'm sure it's not like you don't want to nobody wants to put too much of themselves and additional pressure and all those kind of things. So just how do you kind of approach it, just knowing that, you know, first game back, you'll definitely be needed, even maybe more than previously?
Well, it's impossible to fill Tina's shoes. Her presence is definitely going to be missed. But at the end of the day, we're all professionals. Our job is to, whoever's out there, perform and do your job. So obviously it's going to be a different look for us, because you feel her impact on both ends of the floor. But it's a great opportunity for everybody to step up, like you said, and more is going to be demanded from each of us. And so I'm definitely going to be looking to be more aggressive, as from the jump. You know, there's no time to really settle back into it. There's need right away. And that's across the board. It's not just me. The 5 that are out there, we have to take charge. And Atlanta, as we saw on Sunday, they like to be the aggressors on both ends of the floor. And so I think it's going to be a good opportunity for us to punch initially and keep fighting. There's really no time to settle into a game like this.
That's absolutely perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jen.
Hey, Sydney, if I have my dates right, it's your birthday, right?
It is my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for talking to us on your birthday.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but with you guys.
I'm sure. Following up on Kareem's question a little bit, you mentioned getting to talk to people and getting to know them and learning a bunch of stuff while you've been out. Has anyone given you particularly good advice, or, have you developed a particularly close relationship with anyone while you've been out?
I've enjoyed getting to talk to everybody at different points throughout the last few weeks. The way that I like to operate, I don't really say much in a group setting. I love to have one-on-one conversations or smaller group conversations about nothing in particular, sometimes about sport, sometimes about the team, but life, just getting to know people and who they are. And so I've really enjoyed, I think, across the board, having those moments with each person throughout the course of getting to the gym early to be in the treatment room. And people are always coming in and out, and that's a great window of opportunity to talk about different things post game, even on the sidelines during the game, during practices. So I think I really was focused on not limiting myself to just one or two people, but this is a whole new group for me. So I enjoyed getting to lay that foundation with each person these last few weeks.
Have you talked to Tina at all about her film yet?
Tina, I actually heard that. So Alicia Clark and we went to lunch, dinner when the game was happening on Sunday. And that was the first that I had heard of it. And the last few days, it's been busy with practice and getting prepped for our game. And then obviously she's getting prepped for the film festival tomorrow. But I'm really looking forward to hearing about her experience. And what was cool to me was Alicia was like, yeah, this is her second film. And I was like, her second film, like a casual thing. Tina's over here balling out in the league, and then she's also producing films like it's no big deal. And that just basically sums up Tina Charles for you.
That's great. One more question for me. I know you said you talked to everybody, but curious if there's anything in particular that you've learned from Elena, whether it was while you were healthy or while you've been out, even though she's not able to play with you guys 5-on-5 yet.
She has such a great perspective of the game, and obviously she's played at the highest level, won a championship, has been through all the different wars that a veteran player can see. So picking her brain in just very particular situations on both ends of the floor while people were going through practice, and asking her questions of what she was seeing or what she would like to see, and seeing how we can implement that for this group specifically, because each team is different. The team that won the championship in 2019, different than the team last year, and then what we're building as a group. So I've loved seeing and hearing how she knows what works, but then also trying to apply that to the group that we have now. So we had a lot of good conversations about what she is seeing and what she visualizes for our group to put ourselves in positions to be successful.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Christy?
First of all, happy birthday, Gemini, right?
Yes, Gemini, yes. I don't know the signs. I have no idea about the signs. People tell me, though, they're very wary about Geminis, and I'm like, well, hopefully you're not feeling the same way about me, but I guess I get it.
I know. Anyway, but yeah. I am a Gemini also, so I feel you on that aspect.
Happy birthday, whenever it is.
May. Anyway, but sweet. But I heard you say that, you've been able to watch the game a little bit more and kind of compartmentalize what's happening on the court a little bit better, just sitting over there. And what is the main thing, I guess, coming into tomorrow's game that you honed into in terms of what you saw during that time and what you want to bring out of yourself in that game and the team tomorrow?
Yeah, I think before I got hurt, we were learning each other, and that's still been the process that we've been going through as a group. And sometimes the ball would get stuck because we didn't know where to go from there. And then the last few weeks, there's been a lot more ball movement. We've gotten more familiar with each other. And so I've visualized how I fit back into that, because I don't want to ruin the rhythm that has been built and that we're continuing to build. So being able to see, okay, here are the spots that I can get good looks, or I can drive, and this is what's going to happen after I drive from this angle, on ball actions. And then obviously it also depends on what each team is going to be throwing us on the defensive end. And so specifically for tomorrow, there's a lot of different looks that I was able to see watching the game on Sunday, knowing that this is what they're going to bring to the floor and how we're going to try and combat that. So I really enjoyed that part of it, just trying to outsmart what the other group is trying to do. And I think we take a lot of pride of that as in our group identity as well.
Right. And having the familiarity with Atlanta, just having played over the weekend, what are the probably two main keys that you feel the team has, in particular on the defensive end?
We're playing defense?
On for the defensive key for tomorrow with, they got a lot of gaps in the game on Sunday.
Yeah, Atlanta's a tough team because they have very aggressive guards who can get to the rim basically at will. And they were also hitting shots on Sunday. And so that's going to put a lot more pressure on us on the outside to make sure that we're contesting those shots, making them uncomfortable, but then also trusting that our help is going to be there for the drives that are going to come. So I think a lot of it is going to come to communication and trust. And at the end of the day, we got to work hard defensively. I mean, those are tough one-on-one matchups, and it would be ideal not to need that help and go into rotation. So I think individually, we got to take a lot of pride on stopping who's in front of us.